Hi, I call this talk the answers to all the silver questions that you are afraid to ask. You know, on David Letterman and on cruise ships, they often have their top 10. And so I went around the shop and we asked, what are the questions that you get a lot that aren't, really that good a question? On the cruise ships, an example of a couple of them that I remember were a question that was, is the electricity generated on the ship? And the answer is, yeah, there is now no big extension cord to the last port. And then another one is, does the crew sleep on the ship? So anyway, here's our questions that were sort of in that vein, and it was a fun one to do, and it's rather long, so I'm breaking it up into two with 5 each. So the first one is, my silver is really old. It's from 1847 or 1881. Well, I hear that all the time. There was a group of silver plate by Rogers, and the 1847 group and the 1881 group. Everyone thinks they have this really ancient silver, but no, it was made in the 1930s. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one. I know my silver is sterling because it tarnishes like crazy. No, that's not really true. It can be silver plate, it still tarnishes. And the other one is, my silver is really heavy, so it's got to be sterling. No, again, it usually is silver plate in that case. Okay, one that we get at the antique cupboard for decades, and I have no idea how we get this one, is, do you buy old sewing machines? Now, I don't have any clue how people call me. I've never sold a sewing machine. I have no desire to sell sewing machines, but rarely does a week go by where I'm not asked if I'm going into the sewing machine business. Okay, one that we probably could work on, but we don't, is monograms. Some companies will list all the monograms and all the pieces, but the odds of finding the piece with your monogram is very small. Most of the monograms were 3 letters, and then there's the style. Is it Old English? Is it script? The odds are, if you're calling to match a monogram, it's not going to work. So another one is, I'm looking at the back of my silver and it's got an H or a G or a T on the back, and those are weight marks. People are asking, occasionally what those are, or wanting to have all T's or all M's or on the back. The difference in weight between a T and an M is really, really little. And unless you put on a scale, you're not going to be told the difference. I really think that people who ask this question have way too much time on their hands. So thank you, and we'll go to part 2.